Hey everyone, and welcome back to the show. Embroidered in today's episode is a piece titled Trump's Kiss of Death, an opinion column that takes a very close look at Donald Trump's second term and the ways it's supposedly been a series of costly defeats. The article calls Trump a black thumb president and starts with a pretty small, but very telling example. When he pushed FIFA to backtrack the one-game suspension of U.S. striker Folarin Balogun, the American men's soccer team later dropped 4-1 to Belgium. That's one knife-edge misstep. Fast forward to a more public project, Trump announced a $1.5 million renovation for the Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool. On July 15, the Associated Press reported that by June the bill had ballooned to more than $16 million. Trump had promised repairs that would last a century, yet within days of finishing the work, algae bloomed, and pieces of the new coating were peeling from the bottom of the pool. Two very different examples, but the pattern is described as kisses of death, symbolic things that ease the rush to a lasting damage. The column then pulls back to look at the broader picture: job losses tied to Trump's tariffs, the surge in national debt after the passage of his One Big Beautiful Bill Act, and the economic havoc allegedly created by his war on Iran. All of these are presented as initiatives that reversed progress rather than advancing it. To ground these claims, the author mentions a conversation with Matthew Dallek, a political historian at George Washington University. Peter said in an email that governing via conspiracy theories, Donald Trump has taken his place as the most consistently inept president of this century. In many cabinet and sub-cabinet agencies, the culture is dominated by incompetence. The article then picks one of the most egregious examples: Trump's decision to join Israel in bombing Iran's nuclear facilities on June 21, 2025. Trump called those strikes a spectacular military success and declared that Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities had been completely and totally obliterated. About a year later, though, U.S. and Israeli strikes began again on February 28, extending the war into its fifth month, with growing American casualties, hinting at an ongoing conflict that the article suggests is a clear failure. There's also a side note about Trump's repeated claims on his Substack, Popular Information, that the Strait of Hormuz was open or controlled by the U.S. Over 30 claims between April 17 and July 13 were documented, plus the party lines Trump sent to Iranians, saying "you got beat to hell" and boasting a total and complete victory. 100%. The article stresses that the claims themselves, false as they may be, lack more weight than his real policy outcomes. All in all, the piece paints a portrait of a president who repeatedly sets out on reckless, over-promising projects that tumble into failure, not by calamity or external forces but by his own hand. Thanks for listening to this recap of the Streetwise column on Trump and his kisses of death. Stay tuned for our next conversation where we'll dig into the economic fallout in more detail. Until next time, keep questioning and stay informed.